Today I'm ranking 9 service businesses from S tier to F tier and judging every single one across these same 5 different categories. Startup cost, competition, how well it works across different markets, the skill and licensing required, and whether or not it generates recurring revenue or just one-time revenue. My name is Austin Zabak, and I've been building businesses for over a decade in the real estate and the pest control industry and everything in between. And if at any point you get value in the video, do me a huge favor and hit that like button because it really does help out the channel and it'll get this video in front of more people who need to see it. I'm gonna start with an unexpected business on this list, and that is headstone cleaning. Now this is a specialized, respectful service where you clean and maintain headstones for families who can't visit the cemetery regularly. You're removing things like algae and pulling the weeds around the plot and really keeping the gravesite looking the way that the family wants it to look. And most people don't even know this is a business, and that is exactly why it made the list. Because a lot of people want the family gravesites maintained. The emotional connection creates a loyalty that almost no other business on this list can match. Once a family trusts you with something that personal, they don't shop around. And there are over 144,000 cemeteries across the US, which means this works in virtually any market in the country. And you don't need to be in a specific region or climate for this one to make sense. There's no federal license in this business, so you'll just need a standard local business license to operate. And that's about as complicated as it gets on the skill side of things. Startup cost is one of the lowest on the entire list because your equipment is super minimal. I mean, you really just need a specialized cleaning solution, soft bristle brushes, and a pump sprayer. Pricing runs somewhere between $75 to $300 a stone, and profit margins land in the 60 to 80% range. And competition is really minimal from what I can tell. The one con that I found is that most people don't prioritize this because it's not necessarily an urgent need. You're serving a customer who cares deeply but may not think to act until something actually prompts them. And with this business, you're typically having to go out and find customers. Customers aren't necessarily calling you. For that reason, this business is going to be in the C tier. The next business on my list is junk removal. Now, I can speak to this one firsthand because I actually did a business tour with a junk removal company here in Arizona, and this business model really surprised me. So here's what stood out. These guys literally would pull up, assess the job on the spot, and give a quote right then and there. And they would close the deal almost every single time. Think about that. The customer's already called you. You're already standing in their garage or their backyard, surrounded by all the stuff that they want gone, and they're most likely not going to send you away. The on-site close rate in this business is exceptionally high because by the time you show up, the decision to get rid of the junk has already been made. They just need to commit to an actual number. And that is a really powerful sales dynamic that most of the businesses on this list do not have. And on the startup side, this is one of the more flexible businesses depending on how you want to enter. So if you already have a truck and maybe you can pull a trailer, you can get started for a few hundred to a few $1,000s with some really basic equipment. But if you are starting from scratch and you maybe don't have a truck and you need to go purchase like a box truck or a dump trailer, you might expect to invest anywhere between $7,500 to like 15 grand. There's no license required in most states and no specialized skill is needed. You just need to be reliable, show up on time, and be willing to do a lot of physical work. And this isn't market specific. You can pretty much go anywhere with everybody moving, doing renovations, estate cleanouts, and evictions. Junk never stops accumulating and every market has it. And average jobs can run anywhere between $350 to $850 and profit margins sit anywhere between 15 and 40% depending on ultimately how efficiently you actually run the business. But there is one thing that keeps this business from scoring higher on my list, and that is competition. And competition is real and it is only growing. And this is primarily a one-time service model, so you're not building recurring revenue. So every week you're starting from scratch and you need to fill the route and fill the calendar, so you really always have to be marketing. And for that reason, I'm listing junk removal at a B tier. Okay, the next business on our list is dryer vent cleaning. And surprisingly, dryer fires are more common than you might even realize. The National Fire Protection Association reports that dryers and washing machines cause an average of 15,970 fires every single year. And dryers are responsible for 92% of those fires, causing an average of 200 million in property damage annually. And the number one cause is due to a clogged vent. So that is a documented recurring problem that homeowners need solved, and most of them don't even know that it needs to be solved. So that's where you come in. On the startup side, you're looking at roughly a couple grand to get going. Your core equipment is really straightforward. You need a cleaning rod, a power drill, a shop vac, maybe a ladder, a basic toolbox with some basic tools in it, a flashlight, and if you already have a vehicle, you're pretty much operational. And the best part is you generally don't need a license depending on where you live, and you can pretty much do it anywhere. With that said, earning your certified dryer exhaust technician credential is worth doing if your state has it. And competition is still relatively low in most markets. This isn't pest control or HVAC, where there are literally hundreds if not thousands of operators in your city. And because this isn't market specific, you can run it anywhere in the country and find real demand. Now let me give you the reason that it doesn't crack S tier for me. This is not a monthly recurring business. You're looking at biannual or annual service, which means you're constantly cycling through your customer base rather than building a route that pays you every 30 days. On average, solo operators are clearing $70,000 to $100,000 a year, so the income potential is definitely there. But the recurring engine just isn't strong as some of the other businesses on this list, and for that reason, I'm gonna list this one in A tier. The next business might be the most overlooked business on this entire list because nobody really talks about it, so the opportunity is completely wide open. Look around you. Every shopping center, every office building, they all have a parking lot. And every single one of those parking lots needs to be restriped. And not one time, but they need to be restriped regularly. Parking lot striping should be redone every 12 to 24 months to maintain safety, ADA compliance, and curb appeal. And in high traffic areas, it might even need it annually. And that means once you land a property manager or a commercial real estate client, you are literally on their rotation. So this is not a one-time job, this is a repeat account that comes back to you like clockwork. And what makes this business compelling is that there are actually certain laws that require parking areas to have line striping that complies with federal and local regulations, including ADA accessibility standards. And it isn't optional for property owners, it is a legal requirement. So that built-in demand doesn't disappear when the economy gets soft. And you can get into a basic setup for about $500 and be operational almost immediately. On average, if you want to do it right, a gas-powered striper will run you about $3 to $7 grand, and once you add stencils, paint, and insurance, and a general business license, you're pretty much ready to go. So being that the startup cost could potentially be a little bit higher, I'm gonna go ahead and rank this one as A tier. The next one on the list is commercial cleaning, and this is one that separates itself from pretty much everything else. You're not chasing homeowners twice a year. You're signing contracts with an office building that needs to be cleaned probably 5 nights a week. And for them, this is an operational necessity. And once you land a contract, that revenue shows up like clockwork every single month. The service range alone gives you multiple ways to grow. You can offer office cleaning, deep cleans, janitorial services, sanitizing, or even just one-time specialty jobs. And the more specialized you get, the less competition you're dealing with and the higher you can charge. Startup cost is relatively low, and there's no specialized licensing required in most states. Like everything else on the list, you pretty much just need a general business license, a little bit of insurance, and maybe some bonding. Land enough recurring contracts and you have a business with predictable cash flow that runs whether you're on the job or not. You have low startup costs, recurring revenue, nationwide demand, and multiple service verticals to expand into, and really no market limitations. And for that reason, we're gonna go ahead and put this one at S tier. Next on the list is gutter cleaning. And this one is really straightforward with a very low barrier of entry, and it works in pretty much any market, and you can be operational for probably under 3 grand. But there are 2 things that keep this business from climbing higher on my list, and the first one is that not every home in America actually has gutters, which that alone can shrink your market demand compared to most other businesses on the list. The people who need this service are most of the time gonna be in densely wooded areas, in heavy rain regions, and in places that have snowy climates. Think the Pacific Northwest or the Northeast or even the Midwest. But if you're in a place like Phoenix, like I am, or like Vegas, you're probably fighting a really small market. Second, this isn't really a monthly recurring business model. The standard cleaning schedule is probably like twice a year in late spring and early fall. Homes surrounded by heavy trees or in high storm areas might need it every couple of months, but that's ultimately the exception, not the rule. For most customers, you're showing up twice a year and that's pretty much it. Now that does not mean that it cannot make you a lot of money. The most important purchase for this business is a ladder, a safety harness, and a high-powered leaf blower. There's really not a lot of skill involved, and for that reason, we're gonna go ahead and list gutter cleaning at C tier. Okay, the next one on the list is a mobile dog gym. And I actually did a business tour with the owner of a company called Run Buddy, and this guy has run dogs over 250,000 times and has 7 vans on the road. So this is a proven operating business, and here's how it works. So you outfit a van with a non-motorized treadmill designed specifically for dogs. And the belt is kind of free-flowing with a weighted wheel that drives a higher heart rate than a standard walk. And each 30-minute session is designed to engage both the mind and body of the dog. Now, David told me directly that one weekly run is more beneficial than a traditional dog walk because it helps brain function and builds muscles that don't otherwise get worked when you go out and you just walk a dog normally. The recurring model here is actually real. Customers set themselves up on monthly packages at around $70 a session. And once you build a loyal client base, word of mouth moves really fast. But here's why this lands in F tier for me. The startup cost is one of the highest on the entire list. Pair that with a niche customer base and a service that works best in extreme weather markets, and you've got a business that requires the right market, the right customer, and serious capital to launch. And for that reason, we're listing the mobile dog gym at F tier. The next one on the list is trash bin cleaning. And this one has a really compelling model because you're not your quarterly cleanings and that recurring revenue stacks up really fast. Homeowners love it, HOAs actively promote it as you can imagine, and the competition in most markets is almost non-existent. While every neighborhood has 50 landscapers, most have 0 trash can cleaners. The entry point is pretty accessible. You can pretty much start with a basic pressure washer and some basic cleaning supplies, and you can invest more into a trailer and a setup as you continue to scale. There's no license required in most states, and there's really no skill involved. At $30 to $50 a bin on a subscription model and a solid route of consistent customers will generate real predictable income for you. And once you scale that, this can become a pretty serious business. Here's one of the things that keeps it out of A tier for me. You cannot let wastewater drain into the street. Legally, that is classified as illicit discharge in most municipalities, and you need a system to collect it. It's not a deal breaker, but it is a real operational consideration that you have to solve kind of before you go ahead and launch. And if you get that part right, this is one of the stronger recurring models on this entire list. And for that reason, we're gonna go ahead and list this one as B tier. All right, the last one on our list is mobile car detailing. And the barrier to entry on this one is about as low as it can get. A lot of mobile detailers don't even have a van outfitted with a water tank. They show up to your driveway and they use your hose and your water. You can launch this business for a few $100s and be taking clients literally today. There's no license required, no certification needed, and it works in pretty much every market. But here's my personal opinion. This business works best in affluent markets and metropolitan cities where customers drive cars that they actually care about and they have enough disposable income to pay for quality upkeep. In markets where every dollar is being stretched, convincing somebody to spend $150 or $300 on a detail is pretty much near impossible. Weather is also a real factor. Heavy rain and harsh winters and extended stretches of bad weather and your business quite literally doesn't run. And that is lost revenue that you ultimately have to plan around. The recurring potential is definitely there if you find the right clientele. But you do have to go find those customers, and competition is higher than most people expect. For that reason, I'm gonna go ahead and list mobile car detailing at a C tier. So there you have it. There are 9 service businesses ranked and tiered based on startup cost, competition, market availability, skill and licensing, and whether or not they generate recurring or one-time revenue. But every single business on this list can make somebody a pretty good living, and the difference between the ones at the top and the ones at the bottom really comes down to one thing: how well the model works for you in your particular market with your particular budget. If you got any value from the video, do me a huge favor, like the video and subscribe on your way out. We make a lot of content just like this, and I would love if you checked out some of our other content. It means the world to me, and I look forward to seeing you in a future video.